Alright, out here working on this 340 International. Got for a customer of mine here. He said it smelled like coolant every time you started up, and it did. Pulled the spark plugs out. The back cylinder had water sitting on the piston after it sat overnight. So I pulled the head off, thinking maybe it was evident spot in the head gasket that was leaking. But when I had the head off, the number 3 cylinder is a wet sleeve engine, had a slight crack in it, so I don't think it was leaking through the crack, but it was, decided to go ahead and do an in-frame overhaul on it. So took the head up to the machine shop, and they said it had some bad warping back here on the head, and so they obviously decked it off, and they worked it over, had to put new valve guides and regrind the seats in it and whatnot, and it they said it was pretty bad shape, but they got it up into good shape here, new valves and everything. And the old head gasket they had is just a metal head gasket. I don't really like these kinds of head gaskets. That's what they had, and that's what they sent with the overhaul kit, which I'll get to in a minute, which is the reason I'm making this video. Sent the doesn't look like they had any sort of sealant or anything on this head gasket. They got these little copper rings, but those could still leak. So the machine shop said you need to put this Hylamar stuff on here, kind of spray it on, and you let it sit for 10 minutes or so, and it kind of sets up and makes the gasket kind of sticky and whatnot, and I think it'll work pretty good. And so I did that, put several coats of that on, and then put it down, torque the head down, and I think it'll seal up good. But anyway, before that happened, I ordered an in-frame overhaul kit from yesterday's tractors. Guy wanted to save a little. Sometimes I go through Case IH, just depending, get parts, but the guy wanted to save a little money, and I can't blame him for doing that. So I was kind of looking at Steiner's to get an overhaul kit, and I've ordered some stuff from them before and had decent luck with it. But their website's freaking hard to use. I couldn't even navigate to find an overhaul kit for this tractor, and couldn't even get anything remotely close. So I said, to heck with that. If they're not going to have an easy to use website, I'm not going to get an overhaul kit from them. So I went and ordered one from yesterday's tractors, which is still kind of hard to use, but they were a little more helpful on the phone as far as getting me a kit. So I ordered one, came in a box. I took the engine apart, took the rest of the engine apart, put the sleeves in. That was alright. Cleaned all the parts up, went to assemble the pistons, and I went to put the rings on the pistons, and they sent me the wrong piston rings. I mean, they weren't anything close to the piston rings that it was supposed to have. They were like for a 3.5-inch bore or bigger, and I needed 3.25-inch bore. And I don't even know where the mistake came in, because the part numbers were not even close to each other on the replacement piston rings they sent me. They were two completely different part numbers, completely different in size. So I don't know what happened there. The people in the warehouse, and saying, all right, whatever, one mistake. But then what really pushed me over the edge this morning, I was hoping to get this thing running this morning. I just got the manifold and stuff put back on in the oil pan. And I went over to the box and grabbed the oil pan gasket out, and that says Perkins oil pan gasket. And that's looks like a 4-piece oil pan gasket there, as opposed to the 1-piece that International uses. And everybody who worked on these older International tractors knows that just about every International tractor has an oil pan gasket that looks like that. So I don't know, so they need to fire someone in that warehouse. They were working at the yesterday's tractors, because they are obviously not doing their job, just grabbing whatever parts off the shelf and throwing them in. Because that, you can look at that, and if you halfway, it says it's for a Massey tractor, so I would assume it's probably not even in the same section as an IH oil pan gasket. But that pissed me off, because now they're clear out in Washington State, and so now it'll be next week before I can get today's Thursday. It'll be next week before I can get the thing back together. So it's kind of pissed me off. People aren't doing their job, and repeatedly in the same order. Just really pisses me off. and do it right. That's why they get paid. And of course, when they call out there telling the problem, it's not the person on answering the phone. It's not their problem. So you can't really get mad at them. You want to talk to the idiot in the warehouse that is putting the parts orders together. That's what, yeah. But anyway. So there, just people kind of like reviews of stuff, and I was going to review the overhaul kit for the yesterday's tractor. So if you do happen to order one from them, I would make sure to tell them, you know, on the phone, make sure the stuff is right. And I don't know, or you can just look for an alternative place to get parts from too. So yeah, but that's what's happening here. Working on this. I got a 4230 John Deere that's got some leaks that needs fixed. I got just 2 cows out in the shed. I took 6 of them to the butcher. We'll get some new calves here in a couple weeks. Take those back, the 2 that I didn't sell, back to sale barn. And there's the hay rake. That's kind of a work in progress. I had to take part of it apart to do a couple repairs. A couple of the wheels needed to be straightened, and it needed a bunch of teeth. So I figured, well, I got a part of them, I would just paint the thing, and so that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, kind of what's been happening here. Been working on equipment, getting it ready for spring. So haven't been in too much of a mood to film, so that's why I haven't had any videos, but I'll put this one up. So thanks everybody for watching.